Hello everyone and welcome to today's video where we are taking a look at Curv. This is a cloud-based wallet which has a unique cryptographic solution for blockchain security, and that's one of the reasons why they partnered up with Algorand and also MetaMask, and why they were acquired by PayPal. So this is a bit of a continuation on the last video I made about the PayPal partners, where I talked about the Curv and also Algorand, but in this one we will take specifically about Curv and what are their solutions for the blockchain security. Before we start the video itself, here is just a quick mention about the official PayPal press release about the acquisition, so I will put this in the video description so you can check it out. And now to the video itself. So if we just jump to their website curv.co, we can see a quick overview over here. So it's a cloud-based wallet with a revolutionary cryptographic security solution. And if we scroll down a little bit, here we can see that they are eliminating the private key flaw in blockchains, because as you know, traditionally in blockchains you have the public key and the private key, where the public key acts as a bit of an address, your public address, and the private key is something like a password to secure your public address. Unfortunately, these private keys are the one single point of failure when it comes to the security of blockchain, and Curv eliminates this by giving you a secure distributed way to sign transactions. You can also see the partners of Curv. So last video we talked about Swissborg and eToro, but you may know these other ones, for example FalconX, etc. They have the Algorand partnership going on and also MetaMask. So they provide this keyless cryptographic security with their multi-party computation protocols, which enable to securely sign transactions without using the private keys, and they say it's a mathematically proven distributed way. Also, they provide a complete control, so clients can decide exactly who can do what. Also, the Curv's MPC, which is the multi-party computation, can support all tokens and protocols, so it's very universal. So that's great for the scalability, and also they are flexible about the deployment. Pretty cool so far. Also, if you are a developer, they've got an API, so you can easily integrate this wallet into your environment. So it should be really easy for the companies to use the Curv. Here you have just a few coins that are supported, but all ERC20 tokens are supported. You can see the Algorand over here, Polkadot, Ethereum obviously, Bitcoin as well, Binance Coin, etc. And now let's take finally a look to the technology itself. So we have the mention about the MPC again, also about efficiency and ease of customization, but here is a little bit more about the MPC itself. So this protocol, this MPC uses an independently generated shares of cryptographic material instead of the private keys, so some mathematically secure way of signing the transactions instead of using the private keys. However, this description is very short, unfortunately. Here is a bit more about the transaction flow. So when there is the transfer request, the Curv will authenticate the requesting party, so the user or a machine, and validate the request adheres to your predefined policy. And once this is approved, the MPC protocol is executed to jointly sign the transaction using shares on your side and the Curv side without ever bringing them together. And also the final step, which transfers the transaction to the blockchain, so you don't have to do this yourself, it's covered by the Curv, and also monitor its execution. So they check out if everything is okay, then they will sign it in a secure way and also execute the transaction on the blockchain itself. I also found this article from May than 2019, so a bit old, but I think it's still very relevant, which I will put in the video description. And here is described the MPC a bit more. So they repeat there is no private key involved in the signing mechanism, so there is no private keys to ensure. Therefore, it reduces the risk profile of this digital assets operations. And this all means that with Curv there are no more hot and cold wallets, but instead a universally accessible wallet that is governed by cryptographically enforced corporate policies and controls. So as we mentioned on the Curv website, to sign a transaction, both the Curv and the customer independently store and secure shares that allows to jointly sign the transaction, and the Curv only signs transactions in accordance to a setting, to a policy that the customers independently created and control. And in the case where the attacker gains control over a share, so either the share of the customer or the share of the Curv, it is cryptographically insignificant in terms of their ability to sign and elect transactions. So there where the security comes from. So for the cyber attacker to be successful, they would need to obtain both Curv's shares and the customer's shares at the same moment in time. And because they have designed this continuous and automated rotation of shares, this event is extremely unlikely. However, it's not entirely impossible. But a little bit of peace of mind is that a breach of one customer and Curv will never affect any other customer's wallets and funds. So even if they successfully manage to hack one customer, it will not affect any other customers. But they add one point that even if they are able to compromise the both shares and the transactions would be initiated outside the corporate policy, it would be covered by the Curv's insurance, so there should be no loss. And also I found this other article, which I will put in the video description, about securing the MPC even more by enforcing a UI verification in the Curv's infrastructure, which is from December 2020, so more recent. And this basically covers the problem when someone tries to hack you. They could, for example, hack just the UI, so it looks like it's all verified and as it should be. However, it's fake and you are, for example, transferring your Bitcoin to the hacker, but on the screen it looks like that you are transferring the Bitcoin to your bank. So the Curv has its secure UI, which solves this problem by assuring all permissions have been originated and approved by Curv and no one else. Then they also mentioned that there are some things already to improve the security of this, which is the SRI or the CSP, which I will not go into it now. I want to focus on the Curv solution. They solve this by introducing the Curv's desktop application, which acts as a proxy to its backend servers. So the data should be going straight from the servers to your application, and any request sent through the proxy is monitored to ensure the response is authentic. They also use the TLS certificate pinning, which they explain is a little bit different to the TLS private key because they are using some kind of hardware security module, which sounds all a little bit complicated, but it's necessary to ensure this high level of security. And therefore all of this means that the users can be assured that the UI is actually the one which is safe and not malicious. So there are some pretty cool features. And finally, I just remind this Curv partnership with MetaMask, which at first is maybe a little bit strange because Curv is also a crypto wallet, as is the MetaMask. So you might think that they are competitors and should be competing. However, they explain that this partnership is very good, and the Curv CEO explains that you get all of the enterprise controls and security levels and audit trail from the Curv, which is used mainly by, for example, professional traders. But after this partnership with the MetaMask, you get this very easy one-click integration with all of the DeFi protocols, so that's great for everybody. And this is it for today's video. I hope you get a better idea about Curv and how it works. links, which would get you a better idea about the PayPal acquisition of Curv and also the partnerships with MetaMask and Algorand. If you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button to help me with the YouTube algorithm to reach more people, and also consider subscribing for more future videos like this to come on this channel. I thank you for watching and I will see you in the next video. Cheers!